I can still remember the time when my mother brought me Drakengard. I was 9 years old after she picked me up from my grandmother's house and we stopped at Rite Aid. This store always had a discount DVD section, but today there was a PS2 game and it happened to be Drakengard. I don't know what made me want this game, whether it was the cover art or seeing the Square Enix logo somewhere on the box, but I had to have it. Somehow I convinced my mother to get this game for me, and throughout the next week I unlocked endings A, B, and C. To be honest, I didn't really understand what was going on at the time, but I enjoyed playing it, so that's what I did. But I do remember playing this game and understanding that it was different from anything that I had played before and not understanding why. Until many years later when I figured out that this game was my introduction to dark storytelling. But beyond that, it was the first piece of media that I consumed where you never win or the main characters don't get a happy ending. I don't remember feeling frustrated or anything negative, but I did think it was sad. Because even though most of the characters in Drakengard are bad people, they've all had their fair share of suffering, and even if everything went completely right for everyone, there would be more suffering on the horizon for all of them. Ariosh's mind is still broken beyond repair, and she will probably continue her disgusting eating habits. Leonard would have to deal with the fact that while he was in the woods jerking off, the Empire burned his house down, and if he was there, he could have saved his younger brothers. Also, in the case of Kane, even if he was able to save Furiai, he's become so depraved, he now enjoys the act of killing. So would he really be able to say that he got revenge on the Cult of the Watchers if they've broken him to this extent? I think Yoko Taro definitely overachieved in making the characters of this game weird, even when you compare them to the rest of the series. And while this game has a lot of crazy things within it, I think the weirdest thing about this game is the initial concept. Yoko Taro wanted to make a game that didn't give you a happy ending for massacring thousands of people. And when you say that out loud, it sounds normal. But if you continue thinking about it, there's an interesting conversation to be had about the ridiculous kill counts some games have and how they treat the main characters of their games as outright heroes with no self-reflection about how someone could be on the opposite side. Obviously, this doesn't apply to every single situation because sometimes things are black and white with no discussion in between to be had, but I do find it interesting. Even down to Furiai being created out of Yoko Taro's displeasure of the idea of being with a woman remotely like her, saying that she's too plain and boring. Playing off of the damsel in distress trope seen within many stories, I feel like Furiai doesn't get much screen time and doesn't get saved in any of the endings. Due to her not being an interesting character, I feel like this is a commentary about how Yoko Taro feels about the damsel in distress trope in general, with it not being interesting in my opinion unless you completely subvert the trope. Overall, it's a really weird thing to create a game based off of the things you dislike, but regardless of that, Yoko Taro did it and it led him to have worldwide acclaim with millions of fans. Drakengard will always be a game that I will come back to, think about, talk about, and play, and if you want to see me talk about other games like this, please subscribe with notifications turned on. Also, there are many videos like this one on my channel, so please check them out. But with that being said, it's been Skipx and I'm out.